Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 68 of Mr. Robin's Hood podcast. We are broadcasting from Studio C, where we are just under one giant pumpkin's toss from hole number 2 of the Woodward, Oklahoma Municipal Golf Course. It is I, your fearless co-host and all-around somewhat decrepit podcaster, Robin Hohweiler, or Mr. Robin to you. I'm joined by my effervescent co-host, sporting a very autumnal look these days. Best pal forever.
I kind of am today.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me you were
really
going to
are.
pull that shit on me.
And all around pain in the pumpkin. The one,
Yes.
the only, Mikel Maureé Robinson, known throughout the broadcasting uni as Mikey-on-the-Mic. So, folks,
There it goes.
this ties into our episode today. The legend of Mikey's pumpkin apocalypse. Last year, even before us normal people were fondling depressingly average gourds at Walmart, Mikey was communing with the soil gods in what she calls her paradise, that magical patch of ground between her two houses, where even the earthworms wear tiny Rolexes. She planted those seeds at exactly 2:22 a.m. during a waxing gibbous moon, feeding them a proprietary blend of espresso grounds, unicorn tears, and whatever unholy concoction that sketchy nursery guy handed her in not one, but 2 mason jars labeled, "Definitely not plutonium." 7 days later, boom! Pumpkin vines, thick as anacondas, erupted skyward. The gourd grew so fast, grew so massive, it had its own weather system. NASA actually sent Mikey a cease and desist letter claiming her orange monstrosity was photobombing their Mars rover pictures. Did Mikey care? Hell no. She climbed atop that 2,000-pound monster wearing nothing but gardening gloves and a tiara, waving her lucky trowel like she was summoning the great pumpkin himself, screaming, "Tremble before the future of ag decor, peasants."
This may be the best one yet, honestly.
Soon, her yard looked like a pumpkin army preparing for world domination. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation had established a gourd patrol after 3 of her babies rolled downhill and pancaked a convoy of semis on Oklahoma Avenue. The UPS guy now refuses to deliver within a half-mile radius since pumpkin number 7 developed a taste for brown polyester and package tracking devices. But wait, there's more. Mikey hollowed out one pumpkin, installed mood lighting and a mini fridge, and listed it on Airbnb as Gourd Just Glamping. Tourists flocked in droves, though the 1-star review all mentioned the same problem. No exit door. Been trapped in here for 9 days eating nothing but pumpkin seeds. Help us, please. By Halloween, her prize pumpkin glowed with such radioactive intensity that farmers were leaving sacrificial zucchini at its base. Local children created a whole mythology around it. A pack of coyotes not only held their weekly book club inside, but were spotted discussing the finer points of French literature while wearing tiny monocles. When the news media finally sent someone to cover the event, the reporter asked if things had maybe gone a little too far. Mikey just cackled maniacally and said, "Too far? Honey, the Christmas tree farm uses redwoods as seedlings. Just you wait." Over to you, Mikey.
Oh my gosh. Whew. I've been busy. Holy crap. I don't know what one would say to something like that other than that. That's probably your best story about me yet, honestly.
So
I like the garden gloves and the tiara. I would climb upon that pumpkin, no doubt.
you would. So, as we're moving into the spooky season, we here at Mr. Robin's Hood Podcast decided to devote the entire volume of our podcasting for the month of October to stuff that has some sort of ties to Halloween, our personal favorite holiday of the year. Some of the episodes you hear throughout the month may seem a A little bit of a stretch, Halloween-wise, but it's there. Dig. For instance, today it's no stretch as we're joined by something of a local celebrity, Bryan Baker, who is known hereabouts as the Pumpkin King. He is well known for growing monstrous, award-winning pumpkins, and it's one of his gargantuan pumpkins that is dropped from a crane every year in the annual pumpkin drop. Bryan, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Robin.
Let me get the camera shifted over. We're purely amateur hour here, but that's all right. Why don't you, if you would, start off by just giving us a little insight into your background. Were you born and raised here in Northwest Oklahoma?
Yep, born in Woodward in the new part of the hospital in 1984, right after my brother was born in the old side and I was born in the new side. So
You were in that.
yeah,
that
right there
transition
after.
right there on the
Then
cusp.
raised in Woodward, over on 9th Street, across the tracks, right across from Madison Park.
Oh, okay.
So
My mother actually grew up down in that part of town. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
that's.
So you went to Woodward High School and
I went to Woodward Middle School, and then in 8th grade, I got kicked out of school from Woodward and then started going to Moreland my freshman through junior year, and I dropped out with 1 month left in my junior year.
oh, okay. Okay. And did you let's see if I'm not mistaken, you operate a yard
Landscape
sort of
business.
landscaping service business.
Yep, I just went with the name, the Pumpkin King's Landscaping Service. Since everybody's calling me the Pumpkin King, I was like, I might as well embrace it. That's what
Yeah.
they all know me as anyway. So
So what first got you into growing pumpkins? I mean, was it a family tradition or did you wake up one day and decide, yep, I'm going full gourd?
I like that pun. I was just into gardening at first, and then I kind of got bored with gardening. And the thing with gardening, I wanted to grow my own vegetables, and the thing with it is you put a lot of money and effort into it, and then you have none, and then you have more than you know what to do with, and then you have none.
Mhm.
So it's just like there's no happy medium to it.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah.
So then I really got into pumpkins, and I got a Big Mac seed, which I thought I had got an Atlantic Giant seed. I didn't know there was so many different varieties of pumpkins at the time. I started about going on 10 years ago was probably when I first grew my first one. In like 2015 was when I grew my very first pumpkin. And I grew a Big Max to about 400 pounds, which on the back of the seed, like that's as big as it suggests that you could even get one. But I treated it the same way they grow the giant pumpkins. And so I entered it in the county fair. I was living in Elk City at the time. So I think it was the Beckham County Fair, and I won Best of Show,
Nice.
and I was in that big ribbon and that prize money, and I was
You
addicted.
were hooked.
I was hooked. Like,
It's like I'm one-upping myself every year.
yeah, and so really, it's just been beating myself every year, and then I set out because once I got into it, there's clubs everywhere else, but Oklahoma didn't have a way off at the time, nor did they have a club, and I wanted to grow 1,000-pounder, which I also did not realize how hard that was going to be either. Like
Well, how do you move them around?
we have a lifting strap that goes around and then it cinches it to itself, and then we pick it up that way, and then we put it on a pallet, and then it just move it from a pallet. We got to have forklift from there, but the initial pickup is the hardest part.
I see.
And you never know if your bottom of your pumpkin's going to be soft or raw. Like you don't know because it's been sitting on the ground. But we try to make a landing site for where our pumpkin's going to be. We'll go ahead and clear everything out. And some guys will grow on pallets, but for the most part, they grow on what they call mill fabric, and they put sand down. And the way the two pieces of the mill fabric work, you'll still be able to put like a ratchet strap on it. Because once your pumpkin, you got to move it forward every little bit because it'll start kinking the vine.
Okay.
So you'll have to slide it forward probably at least like 3 times if you're getting a really big one on there.
Holy cow. I had no idea.
Right, it's a whole thing.
Oh, it's an obsession. Like those guys, like the world record, it was grown out of Minnesota. It's 2,749 pounds.
Oh, there's your 2,000-pound pumpkin.
I know.
He spent $30,000 to grow one pumpkin, but he won $50,000 beating the world record.
Yeah.
And then the weigh-off he took it to pays out $8 a pound in California. I think I can't think of exactly what weigh-off he took it to, but then he sells the seeds for $400 a seed.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, you can have anywhere from 200 to 800 seeds.
Wow.
So, or none. Like, it's just like humans, they can be sterile.
Yeah.
Like, so
wild. You know, when I was growing up, my grandpa was a gardener, and him and my older brother, they were going to grow some pumpkins, and they only got one pumpkin, and it was a good sized pumpkin. I mean, we have a picture of them with it. You know, it's probably like, you know, this big, and they were so proud of it. But it was just the wildest thing. It was just like a freak deal. Then that never happened again. But
well, they're heavy feeders. Like it can take all the nutrients out of your soil in one season if you don't put anything back. Like,
yeah, I think that's kind of what maybe happened there. It was like one of those, oh, we just learned a lesson, but it was cool to have a giant pumpkin.
Well, is it a secret? I mean, where do you grow your pumpkins?
I grow in old emu pens. The guy that lived there before my mom got the house, it was emu runs.
Yep.
And so,
Wait a minute, is this west of Woodward?
no, out behind, Sweets, behind the golf carts where they sell the golf carts up there. I live back down in there.
Oh, okay.
It's along an old creek bed, but it was red clay, and I've really had to change up the dirt by just bringing in more dirt, we put perlite in our soil, lots of worm castings, lots of alfalfa meal.
Like you basically make the soil almost essentially. Do you test your soil and all that?
Yes,
find out what.
I test my soil usually in the fall or early spring. The pros, they test their soil like 3 times a year, and then they do a tissue test and a leaf sample. So like the first couple weeks in, right before they're setting their pumpkin, they'll send a leaf in and the leaf will tell you exactly what are in it. And then once they set a pumpkin, they'll also send a tissue sample, and then they'll know what to do exactly from there, and but that's like $600 more. Like, like they just wrap up ridiculous money.
And what month do you have to start your pumpkins growing?
I usually start my pumpkins indoor. I used to really start them around March 15th. But now I've got to where I'm starting them about April 20th, because I've just figured out how to move them faster. That I don't need to start that early anymore. I've just figured out, and I feel like it kind of moves faster if you don't keep them in a pot. Just get them in the ground as soon as possible.
As soon as you can.
But my initial was the bigger the plant that I have ready to go. As soon as we're just waiting for the last frost in April, and we're known to have a late frost up into April 15th is the record. So I usually don't go in the ground before that.
Okay. And when do you harvest these?
Yeah, when are you?
It just depends on if I'm going to take it to a weigh off or what. So like the first thing that I normally cut is the second week of September to go to the Oklahoma Giant Pumpkin Growers weigh off. And it's been all over, but we started it in Bartlesville. We moved it to Claremore, and then we had it at the state fair for a few years. And then this year we moved it to Elk City, which is a closer drive. And with the state fair, it's just like once you park, if you forget something at your truck, like you gotta go a 30-minute walk, and then you're there all day at the state fair, and like that's like $200, like just because it's expensive to go to the fairs.
Yeah.
So, but now we just have it at her name's the Pumpkin Mom, Amber Harrison. She actually beat the state record this year. She grew a 2,166 pound pumpkin in a greenhouse, so temperature regulated, 85 degrees all year long, and was watering 600 gallons a day.
Holy crap.
I'm watering 100 gallons a day, and I feel like I'm wasting water. So I don't know if I'll ever beat the state record now. For one, I don't have like a temperature controlled, but that's kind of what I always knew. Like I knew that it hadn't been taken over by money in Oklahoma yet when I set out to grow giant pumpkins, but I could see like the world record had already been taken over by money. But now the state record has been taken over by money. Like if you don't have all those bells and whistles, you're not going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Man, money just ruins everything.
I'll tell you what.
All the fun, sucked right out of it.
But I've always grown at our way off and way offs that I go to. I've always grown the prettiest. It's called the Howard Dill Award, and Howard Dill is the creator of the Atlantic Giant Pumpkin. I think he got some seeds from William Warnock, which is won a World's Fair back in like the 1800s, like 1810, 18 something like that. And then somehow Howard Dill got a hold of those seeds in like the 60s and 70s and perfected the Atlantic Giant Pumpkin.
So did you, in learning this, did you like Google or trial and error, or exactly like how did you get this knowledge to make all these pumpkins? I mean,
both, and then YouTube back in the day, like when I first got into it in 15, 16, 17, Mark Clements was like the grower that I know. He had his own YouTube channel, and I mean, he taught you how to bury vines, and he had a weekly that you could go on there, and that's how I found research. Constant research.
And then I feel like some just trial and error a little bit too, huh? I mean,
oh yeah. And then you figure out what's going to work for our climate, but it's just so hot here. But they say like the ideal temp is 85 degrees. And that's why the guys up north, and kind of they call it the golden zone, New York, Minnesota, up there. That's where they just have better years than us.
So they have the climate to be able to grow these things.
Yeah.
Is there anything that attracted you to the pumpkins as a whole, as opposed to, say, melons? That, they come up with, they can also be grown to monstrous sizes.
They can. That actually, we had a new state record set this year at a watermelon at 272 pounds.
Wow.
And he's got one bigger. And he's going to be taking it to the Missouri Way Off. He didn't even know. He was hosting the Way Off. And then so we put his watermelon on the scales, and it went 272. And he's like, wait, what? He wasn't even prepared. And so that was good. That was really cool to see, because he was just shocked. Like he didn't even know, because he had it growing on a scale. Like these guys are so extreme. Like they'll grow these pumpkins on scales. They'll grow their watermelons on the scales. Like,
oh, wow.
I mean, and those scales aren't cheap either. Like just to grow it on a scale so they know exactly how much gains they're getting daily.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But was there something about the pumpkin?
I just like the pumpkins, and I've grown every variety that I can, and I've had a pumpkin patch several years, and I'd like to get back to having a pumpkin patch with all the species of pumpkins, gourds, squash. Like I just really enjoy that, and like the kids freak out, like they flip out, like just see, and I had kids at the time. I mean, my daughter's grown now. She's not as interested in it as she was, but that's kind of one of our things that really bonded us through that time. So that really kept me intrigued in it. And
that's cool.
My wife at the time, she had 3 kids, and they were really into it. So it turned out as a family thing. And then it was kind of the only thing that kept me going for a few years after I went through the divorce and everything. And then I felt like all I really had was the pumpkins. And then I became the pumpkin king. And then so I was like, well, now I got to grow. But I'm really thinking about taking next year off. Like I've been growing for 9 years straight. I'm just like, I think I want to take a season off, because I don't really get to leave. Like these, like some guys, like they watch them on, like they'll like set their cameras up, like they're at work watching their pumpkins. Like, well, if you're putting $15,000-$20,000 into it, you're,
Who would have thought people shell that kind of money into growing pumpkins.
I,
I love it. I mean, I love pumpkins.
That-
I mean, I have a pumpkin
really
tattooed
is
on myself as well. So
Yeah.
I get the passion for pumpkin. Although I know that kind of growing takes a lot of work, and I don't have the time to do it. But I think it's so I understand you wanting to take it's a lot of work. People don't, unless you've done something like that. I don't know that people understand the dedication it takes to do what he does with that pumpkin.
oh yeah.
Because it's a heartbreak too. It's like today I went down there to look at my one that I'll be taking to a way off in the first week in Missouri, and 2 days ago it was fine. Like it hadn't been growing in a couple weeks. It's probably around 400 pounds, but it was once again just perfect shape, starting to get the dark orange coming in. And I went out there this morning and it was just split in half. So like, and they can just stop growing at any time, or over watering. Like you have to be really consistent on your water. So you got to be, say you're watering 100 gallons a day.
So you think this rain jacked that up?
I think it was already going down.
Yeah.
Like it was already going down. Like I needed to get it picked up, but I mean, there's no reason to pick it up until you're ready to take it to a weigh off. And
Right.
so I think it is starting to rot on the inside. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And then the one that I took to the weigh off a couple weeks ago, like, cause that's the thing. After you cut them, they can be good for 3 months, or they can just start rotting. Like you never know. So the one I took to the weigh off a couple weeks ago, it's already rotten too. So that's 2 pumpkins down that I won't have for the pumpkin drop. So that means I'm just gonna have to find more, cause we're going to drop 4 this year.
Oh wow.
So,
Oh, at the annual pumpkin.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which will be
Wow, 4.
October 25th
Yeah.
at the rodeo arena.
I'm really excited. We've grown so much that it's going to be at the rodeo arena.
Yeah, there's no room to do it on Main Street anymore. Like last year, I was like, oh my gosh, there are so many people here, and just it's grown and it's awesome. It's cool.
So this year, I guess, I mean, I might as well talk to, we already went into that, but we're going to drop 4. We're dropping 1 on a car. We're dropping one on,
I hate
one
when
on
I
a,
miss this.
1 on a piano, one, I've already got the piano, but for the future, like it's going to be the thing. So like, I'm going to be looking for a piano every year, probably.
Got it.
And then 1 on a dishwasher or washing, dishwasher for modern appliance. And then 1 on I still got to find the pool, but I want a big size pool, like an above ground pool that I can fill full of water and dye it orange. And then that way we can drop it in there, and then it'll just splash out the water everywhere.
Oh, I'm so sad I'm going to be gone now.
What?
Well,
You gotta be there.
I've been there every year. I haven't missed
Okay.
one, but I
Got
have a good friend of mine having a birthday party, and we're going to see coffin races in Manitou Springs, Colorado.
That sounds pretty cool.
So I'm going to have to do coffin races over the giant pumpkin drop, but you will post videos, I know.
Yes.
It's not going to be the same as being there, though, people. If you can be at this thing, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm sad. You have to go.
I will.
So I can, in place of me.
I will. So is there, like, to use a phrase, secret sauce, soil tricks, moonlight rituals, or just a lot of water and patience?
I mean, we do go through a lot of water, but like the perfect pH of water, like they're trying to water have their pH at a 6. They're feeding drip. Usually the biggest pumpkins seem to be grown on drip irrigation now, and with nutrients in your water. It takes a lot of calcium, so a lot of CalMag, a lot of calcium, all your numbers, like your boron really matters. But they're watering fish emulsion and
That's what.
seaweed every day, like every day. And then, of course, you got to have a good feeding regimen and a good insecticide, pesticide regimen, and then of course your fungicide, your powdery mildew, like, because squash bugs just like around here, but it's everywhere, but they don't really die out here. We don't ever have harsh enough winters to kill off our squash bugs, so your squash bugs are just on you. That's your biggest pest. But a daily feeding regimen, worm castings, the more worm castings you can have in your soil, the more your soil is like a high grade potting mix, the better it's going to be in you. And you need to, because everywhere you have a leaf node will put out 3 tap roots. So where you plant your pumpkin, your stump, which we call a stump, you can cut that away and it can just take over from all the other side vines and that you have buried for your roots. So you only lose like 20% of power when you have to cut it at the stump. But sometimes you have to do that because it'll start foaming at the stump. And so you get all those other tap roots. Like this year, I had some of the best tap roots I've ever seen. Like this, like coming off your vine, just like roots like this. So I was really surprised. I don't know what happened, but I had a lot of disease pressure last year. I had 6 plants and only got 1 pumpkin last year. So I tested my soil this year and I had 4 different diseases that were causing that. And so I was able to fix that. And I guess that's what's about being great, is when you can fix all your problems and still get a pumpkin to the line. Like I think we have like in our Facebook group, we have like 700 people from Oklahoma, and there's only really about 10 of us to 15 of us that grow, and there's usually only about 5 of us that actually get a pumpkin. And like every year I get a pumpkin, so I'm definitely up there in that, but not the state record, which has always been my goal. And now I don't know if I'll ever get the state record. Like, might have to hang that up.
Maybe just for a little while.
600 gallons. Like, she watered 600 gallons a day. I'm on city water. Like, I could not afford to. She's on well water, but maybe I'll get to a well and get a greenhouse one day. But I couldn't afford to water 600 gallons a day. And I just feel like that's a waste of water. Like, I really do. Like, I'm watering 100 gallons a day, and I still feel like I'm wasting water.
I can't even.
He's also cautious about conservation as well, which is great. You know, being realistic in that sense. Appreciate that. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm kind of curious. Do you feel a tinge of sadness when you're looking at one of your pumpkins in the air and it comes down and smashes?
No way. That's the best way for it to go out. I'd rather go out that way than just rot in half in my garage and nobody gets to see it. Like,
it's a spectacle, man.
Yeah,
it's
no
like
way. That's the best way to take it out.
Oh, that's great.
And Amber Harrison out of Elk City, I was trying to buy her state record pumpkin, but it went somewhere, I don't remember, a church function somewhere. I didn't offer enough. I put in an offer at $3,000, but she said it sold for more, but she didn't tell me. But I didn't want to go any higher than that. That's quite a bit.
You contact the person that did buy it and maybe get some of those seeds?
Oh, I can get some seeds, but I wanted it for the pumpkin drop.
Oh, I got you.
Because that 2,100 pounder on the car, that's what we need.
No doubt.
Cool.
That would have been wild.
That would have been.
But she also broke the state record squash, which is a pumpkin but green. And it's got a little harder, like it has to be green. There can be no other color on there. And so, but she beat my state record, which I had the state record at like 680 something, but now hers is 887.
Goodness.
So it's a beautiful. I'm happy to get that. So we'll have that for the pumpkin drop. I'm hoping to get a bigger one for the car. I feel like we needed about a 1,500 to 1,200 pound pumpkin for the car, and then the 800 pounder for the piano.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then.
He's thought this through.
Yeah, but I'm kind of interested also. I mean, so you drop 3 or 4 pumpkins in the middle of the rodeo arena.
Yep.
You're smashing them into cars and pianos and dishwashers and whatnot. Who cleans it up?
I think the rodeo, whoever does that they told us we're not even going to have to worry about cleanup this year. But years in the past, the cleanup has just been the town itself, like people will come and clean these up and like freeze it and feed it to their chickens. Like my friend Elizabeth, like she's the other day when I saw her, she's like, I still have chunks. I'm ready for the new pumpkin drop, but she freezes it and feeds her chickens daily. Like they know when it's coming. Like it is their favorite thing. So
that's awesome.
And then Miss Menifee comes and fills up her truck. Like for the most part, it's got to where the town picks it back up and takes it and feeds it to their animals.
That's so cool. That's so cool. That's what they should do. I mean, I think the city of Woodward's the one that has the rodeo arena. So whoever manages it.
Yeah, of course, we'll pull out all our seeds and then I from the way off, I was able to get a 200-pound watermelon, and I haven't decided if I want to drop it or if I've been looking at some different ways that it's been carved, and man, it's really cool if you get all three of the colors that leave the flesh, and then there's the yellowish rind, and then the green rind, and then to the red, pink, whatever. And so I really want to see what Chris Castor is going to be there 3D carving a pumpkin and watermelon or whatever I give him to carve. So I want to maybe have him carve up the watermelon and not drop it.
That'd be cool.
Oh, that's
either way.
It really is.
And then I still have a way off in Missouri the first weekend. I have another pumpkin. It's 300 pounds. It's not as pretty, but I'm going to take it to the Missouri way off and then see what else I can't score as far as giant vegetables for the way off.
Okay.
And then my buddy Nick, I gave him a seed, and I've been trying to get him to grow for years. And it's called the sunburst pattern. It's like the prettiest pattern of a pumpkin. I'll show you a picture of it. And I've been trying to grow these genetics for years, and I've been working on perfecting this genetics. So it's the rarest pattern. You just don't know when it's going to come out. But the more you times that pattern times it to itself, the more likely that pattern's going to come out. And so I gave him a seed, and that's what he grew this year, and it's gorgeous, and it's 400 pounds, and I talked him into going to a way off, and I talked him to bring in the pumpkin for the giant pumpkin drop as well. So, and I think he's got the hook.
Yeah.
So I think he's addicted now. He's like, I'm going to do this again.
Yeah. Well, and then being able to see it drop like that's super cool. So what would you say, Bryan, is the hardest part of the pumpkin growing season that like people don't probably realize? What would you say is like your biggest challenge?
Getting up and getting out there every day, staying in there every night, not going on vacation, not really going anywhere. But the hardest part is just losing it out of nowhere. Like I've cried like multiple times. Like I've cried, like I've had 800 pounders just smashing on it. Like this is the best I've ever had. And then it just stopped growing. Like, and then it just started blossoming. Rot is a big thing where they just start rotting at the blossom end. And that's the hardest part to me is losing it. Like I would rather see it go to the pumpkin drop than anything else. It's like the two that I lost today. Like I was asking myself, I'm like, man, this is all for a good reason. Like, why are they rotting in my garage? Like, why are they rotting out in the field? Like the pumpkin drop's amazing. Why couldn't they have made it?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Could you send that maybe to Mikey?
Yeah, for sure.
We'll do a layover on the video. That's really cool.
And then I can also send the picture of the squash that we'll be having as well.
Sweet.
It's really pretty.
Sweet.
That's really great.
Just staying consistent, just staying in there, getting in there every day. Which when I first started doing this, I mean, in there for a while when I was just going through the divorce, my mom was just like, I just moved back to Woodward. She's like, just get back on your feet. Like I was pretty depressed, and I really felt like the only thing that kept me going was the pumpkins. Like, and so she was just like, just put it back together. And so that's what I did. I just grew pumpkins. I didn't have a job for a little bit. Mom took care of me, and I lived in my camper and just put myself back together. And the pumpkins was a big part of it. And now
great story.
It's
no doubt.
got me to be the landscaper, and I have my own business now. And so I've been able to take over payments on my mom's house, and she got another house. So it all is working out for the time that she's like, just like, I believe in you. And that's all I told her I needed. I was like, just believe in me that I can do this, which I never got the state record. But what else has come of it is even crazier than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah. Who would have thought it would have come to this community event where people gather to commemorate these giant pumpkins.
And when you said like a local celebrity, that's the truth. Like I've been trying to tell my friend Kyle forever. I'm like I'll see kids at Walmart or wherever I'm at, and like they'll just like get starstruck and just be like, "It's the Pumpkin King," or just run up and hug me. And I kept telling him about it. And then one day we were out at the Six Diner, and these 3 little girls walked in, and they stopped dead in their tracks as soon as they got in the door, and they all looked at each other and like, "It's the Pumpkin King." And he's like, "You are not lying." I was like, "It's crazy. Like I never expected that. Like I never."
Oh, cool. That's so cool.
And like, you can just tell when people notice who I am, and I'll have other parents like or people, the Top Cat, the guy that owns the Top Cat, he's like, one day my daughter came home, or my granddaughter came home, and it's like, "You'll never guess who we saw at Walmart today." And he's like, "No, probably not." And she's like, "We saw the Pumpkin King." And so people telling me stories like that. And there was a time that I needed that to pick me back up. Like,
of course.
So.
Oh, that's great. True.
And now you're just the Pumpkin King.
Just the Pumpkin King.
I love that.
And I never would have thought it would turn into my own business of just landscaping and mowing and taking care of people's plants. And that's what I really enjoy. Like, have a lady that I do take care of her yard. Her name's Judy. She's like, "Bryan, my strawberries have just not done anything in a few years." And I was just like, "Okay, I know the numbers." And I was like, buy this. And then this year she had like strawberries, like hand-sized strawberries. And she said, so that's my favorite thing, is to teach people how to feed, whether it's flowers or it's your fruit or your apple trees. Like I can teach people how to either get bigger blooms, bigger blossoms, higher yield in anything. Wow. And that's what I taught myself in the giant pumpkins. And so, but it transfers over.
Yeah, too. It is very similar. If you get into gardening in any realm, it does kind of transfer, and you can.
Sure.
But
and people just don't realize we deplete our soil, and you have to put something back.
That's very true.
Do that at the end of each growing season.
Right.
You're out there spreading the stuff, then turning
more manure, all leaf, there's lots of leaves. There's many, a lot. Making your own compost is probably the best, because high-end compost can get pretty expensive,
Yeah, it can.
Sure.
But just, that's where
and I did that for a while.
Landscaping,
a lot of time.
I can take all that stuff and turn it into and then keep everybody's stuff that they want to throw away. So, and then just turn it in. I'm not as good as I should be into turning it. Like I should have my own dirt by now, but
that's a whole nother job in itself.
It is.
That's why, we got one of the that you could turn, but you have to turn it. We had a temperature gauge that you go out there. Because if it gets like it doesn't stay in the right temperature, you got to move it around the yard. Like we got like worms really bad. Whenever I was researching, they were like, "Yeah, you did something wrong."
Not the good worms?
Not the good ones. No. It's not worms. What would I say? It would be the word.
Those army caterpillars. Worms.
It's what eats carcasses and stuff.
Oh,
maggots?
Maggots. It was maggots.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it had maggots. That's what it was. Like that.
Yeah, that's more on the putrid side.
That's not good. That's not good. So, but there is a whole thing to it. You can't put meat in compost. You can't do onions. And then there's what they call the greens and the browns. And you have to have so much of the greens versus the browns. And like if you don't have one of those, you have to turn it with like, like your big landscaping fork or whatever.
You pretty much have to have some basic background.
Oh,
It's a
organic
science.
Yeah, it really
it's a
is. You have
science.
to. I mean, we did a lot of research before we did it,
Huh.
and like I said, it was a lot of work, so we just haven't been. But it's worth it, if you can put the time into it and stay, like he said, consistent in that as well.
And your ashes biochar is
Mhm.
becoming big too, where it's not quite ash yet. It's the glassy part, and then you just crush that down.
Mhm.
Which I've made some biochar. I like make. They say that's a big help in the garden too.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, speaking of, that reminds me of rocks. And Brian, you also have a bunch of rocks and crystals, and you're into that as well.
Yes, I'm huge into the minerals, which
Yeah.
is same
Kind of
thing.
goes hand. Me too. My house is full of rocks. I picked up rocks everywhere I go usually.
And that's the cool thing about, and I don't know how much it really helps, but our selenite is basically equals, what does it equal? Is it magnesium? No, it equals calcium. Our selenite equals calcium. And so like I find all our selenite out here, and then I clean it up, and I've sold it all over the world. At one point in time, I was in like 46 rock shops in the nation and like 13 throughout the world. I've sold to like 33 countries, something like that.
Huh.
And I went to Tucson and sold the golden selenite that I found. It fluoresces neon orange under black light. And I went to the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. It's the largest gem and mineral show in the world. And so all those plates that I was cleaning up, I saved the flakes and I worked that into my soil. And like those guys just can't get over my calcium. I'm like you're trying to hit like 3,000. My calcium was like 10,000. Like, what are you doing? I'm just like
using what we got here.
and they're buying bags and bags of stuff. And that's one thing we have, but we don't have the weather that I need to do it.
Yeah. The ideal climate is just not here.
It's just too hot. But this year was a really good year. I feel like I should have done better. That's the thing. They just stop for some reason, and you don't know why. Disease is really heavy. Yellow vine disease is probably our biggest disease that takes us down. The squash vine borer, which they bore into your vine, and then they leave their larva, and then they just eat it from the inside out, and you don't even know it's in there.
See, that's the tricky part. There's a lot that you don't know because you can't see the inside of it.
Right.
So you can't tell what's happening. So, do your giant pumpkins, have you ever ate one?
No, I have never ate one. I have grown all the other species and like made 3 different pies out of like 3 different species. So, and that's one thing that I wanted to do every year was grow a different species and make a pumpkin pie from it. But they say it's like eating a 500-pound, 200-pound catfish. Like it's not going to be good. Plus all the nutrients and the pesticides that we're using, we probably really don't want to eat them. But I try to go as organic as possible and try not to use that stuff. I really try not to. And if I do spray anything, I spray at night when the bees are at home. Like, so I don't want to kill our bee population. We have to have that.
Yeah, for sure.
But the cows love them because we do feed a lot of molasses because we're feeding our dirt. We're feeding our dirt that feeds the pumpkins. Like that's where we know we're more on the soil scientist side. You get to know all your microbial life, how to feed your microbial life. That's what really feeds the pumpkins and your macro and your micronutrients. But
well, here's kind of a silly question, but I'll throw it out there anyway. Which would be scarier for you? A squirrel or jackrabbit raiding your pumpkin patch, or Mikey showing up with a carving knife?
I would carve something cool, Brian, just saying.
Yeah, and I think she would come after I told her she could show up.
Yeah, I would not just do that on a whim. I'm not that asshole, but the Robin thinks I am over here.
Deer. Deer are our biggest predator on that part. And mice. Mice will start eating just all around it and just taking out chunks. But if they take out a chunk, that's an open wound, basically.
Yeah.
So then there's a chance of that will start rotting. So you'll have to scrub it clean. We use peroxide and alcohol. And what's crazy, once you start getting a spot on it, you can wipe it down with and pour peroxide on it. It'll bubble up just like if we,
In your skin.
just like if us. So like these things are alive, like,
Yeah, they are.
and they put on up to where 60 to, I've never done this, but they can put on anywhere up to 60 to 80 pounds a night.
Wow.
And you can watch them, like you can watch them grow when they're in peak growth. Peak growth is from like day 20 to day 40. And you can go anywhere from 20 pounds a night to 80 pounds a night.
Wow.
Like,
This is awesome.
That's crazy. I love pumpkins even more now. Just saying.
And then we had a question from the U.S. military. Do you think it's possible to weaponize a pumpkin?
That's a hell of a question.
which that you go back to the U.S. military, that's kind of what has spread the giant. It's mainly the Air Force spread the way-offs throughout the world. I don't remember exactly what reading I was come across, but that's how it's kind of spread throughout the world is through the Air Force. I don't know, like way-offs. I don't know if they're having way-offs at airport or Air Force bases throughout, but like that's one of the things that's really helped it grow and trade seeds and
And
it's
you didn't
like,
know your question was a whole thing.
I did not know that.
but like I said before, it's been taken over by money. So it's all your like doctors and your lawyers, and it's like big time people that grow these, like that own businesses. It's not just like a normal, like that's what it's been for years. Is wealthier people are the ones doing it. It's not just like somebody off the
But are they
streets,
actually growing it, or are they contracting to have somebody else do the growing?
I mean, most of them are growing them. I would say they're out there. I watch a lot of videos on these guys, like
They just have the money to do
Right.
it and the means.
And they're
what
off.
makes it easier.
Yeah.
like
yeah,
they don't
yeah.
work like we were,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's really hurt me is my landscaping's taken over so much. I don't have the time to be out there like I was the previous years. Like
Yeah.
they're alive. Like I sing to them, I talk to them, like, and that's when I was
Exactly.
being better. That's when I was doing really good, when I would just sit out there with my pumpkin all night and
Yeah.
just like lean on it and chill with it. Like that's that's the 2 years in a row that I grew 800 pounders, 900 pounders and a 1,000 pounder. But since that, the last 2 years, I have not been able to put that type of energy into it. And I can see it. Like
Mhm.
you can do so much, but they're also out there nerding out on it. Like
Mhm.
it's an energy thing just as much as it's a water and the right nutrients thing.
Yeah.
It's an energy thing too. Like
I believe that in all of plants. Like, even if people don't realize it, like somebody's got a really good green thumb, and I'm like, it's part of that is that they love to grow that plant, and
Right.
that plant knows that
Yep.
and feels that. And then that's why it does so good too. I'm dead serious. I'm like with Bryan on this 100%. Like I talk to all my plants. I'll go out into my little paradise and I'll just be like, "How are you today?" You know.
name them.
You know,
They all
I've
name
named
their.
some. I've got a cactus named Bryan.
No,
Yeah, I
thanks.
I really do.
Everybody names their pumpkin. They usually wait till like day 20 because if it's gonna abort, like it'll usually abort by day 20. But then everybody names their pumpkin. That's a big thing, is naming your pumpkin.
What are some of the names of the pumpkins you've had?
I've had Warnock for William Warnock, who is the creator. I've had the Hulk,
The whole
but it was bright orange. It was my first one. And then I've kind of just fallen off on naming them.
Okay.
I had one I called one Doc this year because that's the grower that I got the seed from. And they call him Doc, and so I just called it Doc. And then the other one that I grew this year was Ruby, so I just called it Ruby Tuesdays because is the second time is Ruby 2. So
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool. I
So-
name all of my vehicles, so
Yeah. well,
somewhat relatable.
I've been known to do that too. I bought a really broke down. It was just a piece of crap, but man, I loved driving that car. It was a Mercedes-Benz sedan from 1984. The thing was like driving a boat. I mean, I'd go down the road and it had that beefed up Mercedes suspension. I could fly over speed bumps. You'd never even feel them. But I named that one Brutus. It was a turbo diesel.
Brutus.
And I'd get in every morning and flip the switch to the first stop so the glow plug would do its thing before I hit it. And I would say, "Et tu, Brute." Sure enough, it would fire up and off I'd go. And this is way off topic, but that became my road rage vehicle. If somebody really pissed me off, I could pull right in front of them, jam that floor or the pedal to the floor, and bury whatever was behind me in partially burned black hydro. That made me feel better.
Oh, that's funny.
So, let's see. Do you have, why don't you, if you want to, you can take this time and is there let me ask this. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
In regards to your pumpkins or?
No, just, so like they say about every 5 years to rotate, and that's where I'm at. So also with taking the year off, like I'm thinking about taking the year off, like I said earlier, and I'll do cover crops. So like I'll do alfalfa. I'll do a cover crop of alfalfa, and then I'll do like a cover crop of like beets, radishes to break up into my soil, and then I plan on doing some zinnias and just rebalancing my soil. That's what I was thinking about doing, and just come out to the pumpkin drop on October the 25th. It'll be doors open at 2, and we'll be dropping pumpkins till 6, a little after.
It's so awesome.
That is,
I gotta get out there.
I'm bummed.
Yeah, this is going to be the best year. And so it's nominated this year at the Main Street level. We go, I think, the 30th of this month to see if we win. It's nominated for best event with over 1,000 attendees. So hopefully that'll win. And we're in talks with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell's press secretary to have it proclamated this year. So the giant pumpkin drop might get proclamated and recognized as a state event.
Oh,
And
that'd be cool.
So that would be really cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
And do you want to plug your landscaping?
It's just the Pumpkin Kings Landscaping and Lawn Service, and find me on Facebook, or my number is 580-216-4639.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for
no
sure.
problem at all. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed that. And let me start swinging this back around to me. Hopefully it don't.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm doubled up there for
There we
a
go.
quick second.
There I am. I hope everyone enjoyed that. If you have any questions for either Mikey or myself about today's episode or any other darn thing, you can email us at mr.robin@mrrobinshood.com or Mikey at mrrobinshood.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Mr. Robin's Hood Podcast. As always, you can also reach out to Mikey or me via Podophone at 580-827-1113. Maybe you just want to get something off your chest, or you're feeling some butt pain because of something we said during the podcast, give us a call. Unless, of course, you're some kind of weird, orange-loving freak bent on saving the pumpkins, and we'll give you Brian's number. Still, just keep in mind that we aren't likely to answer, but you can leave a voicemail. Text us if you have a question, concern, complaint, compliment, suggestion, whatever. Just don't be a dick about it. In the meantime, tell all your friends to stream this podcast as though their lives depend upon it. As always, you can stream or download episodes of Mr. Robin's Hood podcast wherever you usually find that sort of nonsense. We're on iHeartRadio. There's kind of an inside joke there. We're on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, the Podbean app, Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Listen Notes, and Podchaser. You can also stream them directly from our Podbean website at mrrobinshoodpodcast.podbean.com. And that's for free. And you can get all of our episodes.
All of them.
So we'll close now by reminding everyone, as we always do, to
stay hungry, stay foolish, and most importantly, stay weird. See ya.
Bye.